New this morning, what do Mississippi teens think about school shootings and mental health challenges affecting our youth?
Yeah, a lot has happened, and this conversation has really started over the last week. Many adults have been interviewed in the wake of last week's elementary school shooting in Texas, but teenagers and younger children are the ones on the front lines of these issues every day. This morning, we have a live interview with Laura Renfroe, who was recently named the 2022 State High School Journalist of the Year by the Mississippi Scholastic Press Association. So a big congrats. Now she also graduated from Pelahatchie High School in Rankin County last month and will attend the University of Southern Miss in the fall.
Good morning, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
So starting off, what do you think may be contributing factors to some of the youth violence that we're seeing around the country right now, such as the school shooting last week in Texas?
So I think one of the really big factors that I've seen is they have this sense of isolation. So whenever they're like constant cycle of being in video games or technology, they never learn coping skills or conflict resolution skills, and it causes them to lash out in violent ways. So I think media influence is a really big factor. If they're constantly seeing aggressive behavior online, it can cause them to reflect that behavior themselves because they're consuming that sort of negative energy a lot. I think it can also come from peer pressure. So making friends with the wrong people can cause them to be empowered by other violent teens. And so I think a lot of the school shooters that we've seen have sort of childhood trauma, and they have this idea of wanting to get back at their abusers. And so encouragement from their peers, maybe they think it's just a joke, but I think that a lot of the shooters, they end up reflecting that and the violent teens that they're surrounded by. Same with the parenting. So if they have neglect in their home, it causes them to have a sense of lack of stability, right? So violence gives them that feeling of power and control that they don't have at home.
Now, when tragedies like the one that happened in Texas last week happen, does it make you or other students or your friends worry about your own safety at school?
Yes, definitely. I know a lot of teachers have been really ready for the summer, not only because they want to get a break, but also so they know that the students are safe. And I know that every time there's like a school shooting drill at school, there's always, everyone tries to brush it off, but there's always that sense of uncomfort and like that nagging worry that what if this happens to us? Like what's going to be next? What school is going to be next? And so, yeah, there's that constant worry that's kind of in the back of all the students' minds during school.
And right now, our viewers are seeing some video from Uvalde, Texas. No one wants to be a part of those vigils that we just saw. I mean, to be among a funeral for your peers, it's just got to be heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't imagine it. Just remember when I was in high school, we would have like tornado drills and stuff, but I don't remember us ever talking about like school shootings and stuff. It's like a different level. I mean, you hear about it some far off land in the news or something, but it's just not really something that you think about when you go to school usually, when I was in high school anyway.
But what do you think could possibly be done to prevent some of this violence from happening?
So I think a really big factor, like I was talking about mental health before, so more widespread access to mental health resources. I think in high school, mental health is often just kind of brushed off. So I think having more widespread counseling and normalizing mental health for students and letting them know that even if they don't find that safe place at home or with their peers, school can be a safe place for them to navigate their emotions and learn how to cope with those emotions. I think also letting like the schools emphasizing that if a student was going to report a violent teen, that something will be done about it. So taking these reports really seriously. And then I also think another solution would be, obviously limiting access to gun control for adolescents. So access to these sort of assault style weapons should really be banned. And also if you have guns at home, making sure that these violent teens don't have easy access to these weapons. And also maybe doing background checks on gun sales. And yeah, those are just a few of the solutions that I could think of.
So now when tragedies such as school shootings happen, of course, it's people like you who are receiving, you could be the possible victim, So do you think that there's a lot of value that society places on getting input from youth such as yourself?
I think that we definitely should see more of it, kind of having youth like me and students having that input as well as parents and teachers, because we really are, the front lines. We're the one who are in this environment. We're faced with these circumstances the most, I think. So definitely having input from us is really important so that we can find solutions, because we're the ones who, experience this. We experience the after effects. So definitely, I think there should be more emphasis on that, so that having our voices pushed to the front.
And we've talked a lot about mental health, and you even mentioned it just a little bit earlier that, media plays a role in that, and I definitely think social media has a big role in that. And our meteorologist Chelsea and I have talked about TikTok being one of those factors. Would you say that would contribute to the mental health problems among youth?
Oh, for sure. I think I like to call it quick bite media. So like there's this never ending consumption of media that like TikTok, Instagram allows you to do. And so it leads you to feel kind of overwhelmed by emotions, because there's this constant cycle of media that you're consuming. And so if you compare your entire life to like a 15-second clip that you see on the internet, it crashes your self-esteem. You get this negative outlook on life, because you think that your life isn't how it's supposed to be compared to the media. And so there's this always feeling, unfulfilled whenever you're constantly consuming what people think that life should be like. And so I think that definitely can lead to a lot of mental health problems. It also can lead you to, if you're constantly hours at time consuming that media, it can cause you to deprioritize, just simple self-care, sleep, exercise, mindfulness, because so that can definitely lead to mental and physical problems in itself.
Well, Laura, you are so bright, so intelligent, and so well spoken. Congratulations on graduating high school, and I know Southern Miss is going to treat you right. Are you looking into going into broadcasting or print?
I'm going to go into graphic design and journalism. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay, well, congrats again. You have a bright future ahead of you.
Oh, thank you so much.